Hello, today's daily reading comes from the book of the Apocrypha. We are reading from the book of Jubilees, chapter 11, and it reads as follows. And in the 35th Jubilee, in the third week, in the first year thereof, Ruth took to himself a wife, and her name was Orah, the daughter of the son of Chesed. And she bore him a son, and he called his name Sarai. And in the 7th year of this week, in the Jubilee, and the son of Noah began to war on each other, to take captive and to slay each other, and to shed the blood of men on earth, and to eat blood, and to build strong cities and walls and towers. And individuals began to exalt themselves above the nation, and to found the beginnings of kingdom, and to go to war, people against people, and nation against nation, and city against city. And all began to do evil, and to acquire arms, and to teach their sons war. And they began to capture cities, and to sell male and female slaves. And the son of Chesed built the city of Ar of the Chaldees, and called its name after his own name and the name of his father. And they made for themselves molten images, and they worshipped each of the idol, the molten image which had taken for themselves, and they began to make graven images, and unclean simulacra and malignant spirits assisted and seduced them into committing transgressions and uncleanliness. And the prince of Mesderma exerted himself to do all this, and he sent out other spirits, those which were put under his hand, to do all manner of wrong and sin, and all manner of transgression, to corrupt and destroy, and to shed blood upon the earth. For this reason he called the name of Sarai Sarug, for everyone turned to do all manner of sin and transgression. And he grew up and dwelt in of the Chaldees, near the father of his wife's mother, and he worshipped idols, and he took to himself a wife in the 36th Jubilee of the 5th week in the first year thereof, and her name was Melka, the daughter of Kebar, the daughter of his father's brother. And she bore him Nahor in the first year of this week, and he grew and dwelt in of the Chaldees. And his father taught him the researches of the Chaldees, to divine and augur according to the signs of heaven. And in the 37th Jubilee, in the 6th week, in the first year thereof, he took to himself a wife, and her name was Ijaska, the daughter of Nastog of the Chaldees. And she bore him Terah in the 7th year of this week. And the prince Mesderma sent ravens and birds to devour the seed which was sown in the land, in order to destroy the land and rob the children of men of their labors. Before they could plow in the seed, the ravens picked it from the surface of the ground, and for this reason he called his name Terah, because the ravens and the birds reduced them to destitution and devoured their seed. And the years began to be barren owing to the birds, and they devoured all the fruit of the trees. From the trees it was only with great effort that they could save a little of all the fruit of the earth in their days. And in the 39th Jubilee, in the 2nd week, in the first year, Terah took to himself a wife, and her name was Edna, the daughter of Abram, the daughter of his father's sister. And in the 7th year of his week she bore him a son, and he called his name Abram, by the name of the father of his mother, for he had died before his daughter had conceived a son. And the child began to understand the errors of the earth, that all went astray after graven images and after uncleanliness. And his father taught him writing, and he was 2 weeks of years old, and he separated himself from his father, that he might not worship idols with them. And he began to pray to the Creator of all things, that he might save him from the errors of the children of men, and that his portion should not fall into error after uncleanliness and vileness. And the seed time came for the sowing of the seed upon the land, and they all went out together to protect their seed against the ravens. And Abram went out with those that went, and the child was a lad of 14 years. And a cloud of ravens came to devour the seed, and Abram ran to meet them before they settled on the ground, and cried to them before they settled on the ground and devoured the seed, and said, Descend not, return to the place where you came. And they proceeded to turn back. And he caused the clouds of ravens to turn back that day 70 times. And of all the ravens throughout all the land where Abram was, there settled there not so much as one. And all who were with him throughout all the land saw him cry out. And all the ravens turned back, and his name became great in all the land of the Chaldees. And there came to him this year all those that wished to sow, and he went with them until the time of sowing ceased. And they sowed their land, and that year they brought enough grain from home, and ate, and were satisfied. And in the first year of the 5th week, Abram taught those who made implements for oxen, and artificers of wood, And they made a vessel above the ground, facing the frame of the plow, in order to put the seed thereon, and the seed fell down therefrom upon the share of the plow, and was hidden in the earth, and they no longer feared the ravens. And after this manner they made vessels above the ground on all the frames of the plows, and they sowed and tilled all the land according as Abram commanded them. And they no longer feared the birds. Amen.